Hello dear students of the 6th elementary grade and welcome to a new episode of our program. It's time for science, and on this episode we'll be discussing and explaining lesson 2 of unit 2, measuring temperature, with our teacher of science, Mr. Nader Nassim. Hello Mr. Nader and welcome to the program.
Hello, thank you. Hello, welcome.
I'm really very interested to know some information about this lesson, measuring temperature. Let us first talk about what we're going to have in this lesson.
Okay, in this lesson we will discuss how we can measure temperature. Okay, at first let me ask you a very simple question.
Yeah.
Can we measure temperature by touching like this? Can we measure temperature by touching?
It's not going to be like accurate.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
So we can measure temperature only by devices called thermometer. Okay,
but we can feel when you touch somebody's forehead like this. You can feel that temperature is higher than normal.
Okay, I can feel hotness, but I can't feel what's the temperature accurately.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I can feel hotness, I can feel coldness, but I can't feel temperature accurately. Okay, so we can use only thermometer to measure temperature. Okay, but at first, can you remind me, Mr. Yasser, how many markers do we have according to the conducting heat?
How many what?
How many markers? Types of markers according to the conducting of heat. We have two types, which are good conductor and bad
conductors. Yeah.
Okay, good conductors such as what? Do you remember?
Good conductors.
Good conductors such as iron, copper, aluminum, all metals.
Yeah.
In brief, all metals. Okay, so we can say that good conductors material are material that conduct heat and let heat flow through.
Yeah.
So
bad
what about
conductors are stuff like, or materials like, you know, wood, glass,
plastic, glass,
right?
Yeah, air.
Plastic, yeah,
okay.
Air.
Okay, but you were inconvenient the last lesson.
Well, I'm still not convinced very much, but it's okay.
Okay, we said they are bad conductor.
Yeah.
We don't say that. We didn't say that. They are insulator. هم مواد يعني موصلة رديئة للحرارة، مش عازل للحرارة.
اوكي. أنا في تقديري أقدر أقول إنها مواد غير جيدة التوصيل للحرارة، مش رديئة ولا سيئة، غير جيدة التوصيل، دي أدق بالنسبة
لي. It's relating to English language, okay? But relating
not
to science,
good conductors.
Okay, relating to science, we divide all materials we have studied, or all materials in the world, into two main types, which are good conductor and bad conductor, okay? Good conductor, which are materials that conduct heat and let heat flow through, like iron, copper, aluminum, gold, nickel, silver, all metals. All metals, not all materials. All metals يعني كل المعادن. But what about bad conductors of heat? They are materials that don't conduct heat and don't let heat flow through. Such as what? Such as plastic, glass, wool, wood, paper, air, and so on. So let's return back to our lesson today about measuring temperature. Measuring temperature أو قياس الحرارة. Okay, we have agreed that we cannot measure temperature by touching. Why? Because it's not accurate. Because what? It's not accurate. So we have a question now. Can we measure temperature by touching? I think the answer will be no. Why? Because sense of touch, حاسة اللمس, is not accurate. مش دقيقة. هتقول لي الحرارة عالية لكن مش كام بالضبط. Okay? Again, no, because sense of touch is not accurate. Sense of touch is not accurate. Okay? So the device that measure temperature accurately is thermometer. Again, the device that measure temperature accurately is thermometer. Our thermometer. Okay? Thermometer, we can make a very easy definition for thermometer. وقلنا أكتر من مرة لما بنحب أوي الطالب الكرييتيف اللي بيعمل definition من دماغه، من فهمه هو شخصيا. We can say that thermometer is a device that is used to measure the temperature. Okay, so we can see that thermometer is a device that is used to measure temperature. يبقى الترمومتر هو الجهاز اللي بيقيس الحرارة. Again, thermometer is a device that is used to measure temperature. Okay, so again we cannot measure temperature by touching because sense of touch is not accurate, but we can only measure temperature by thermometer. أو الترمومتر. Okay. The main idea of making thermometer، ايه فكرة الترمومتر؟ ازاي نعمل thermometer او ازاي بيشتغل؟ is that we know that احنا عارفين كويس قوي ان inside the thermometer there is a liquid. liquid which is called mercury أو الزئبق. So we can say that the main idea of making thermometer is that liquids expand by heating and contract by cooling. As you know from our previous lesson, all materials, all matters expand by heating and contract by cooling. So we can leave spaces between railway tracks. Do you remember, Mr. Yasser? Can you remind me? Give reason. I have a very important give reason question about the last lesson. Okay?
Yeah.
You remember the railway tracks?
Yeah.
We must leave spaces between them. Why or give reason?
Because they
Expand.
expand and contract
Yeah,
according to the
temperature of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can leave نرسم مع بعض spaces, or we must leave spaces between railway tracks like this.
And also bridges.
Bridges, yeah, very good. We have spaces or gaps في فجوات أو فراغات between railway tracks. Why? To give them, you said this answer before, Mr. Yasser.
Yeah.
To give them chance, okay? To give them a chance to expand. Expand in what? Expand in hot days, like in summer.
Or hot
Okay?
weather.
Or hot weather. Okay, so we must leave spaces between railway tracks. Why? Or give reason. To give them a chance to expand or to avoid buckling. I have another answer. دي إجابتك أنت يا مستر ياسر. هقول إجابتي أنا بقى. Okay?
Yeah.
هقول
To avoid buckling.
to avoid buckling عشان نتجنب الانحناء buckling or bending. To avoid buckling or bending. Okay? So we have two answers for this question. Give reason. We leave spaces between railway tracks to give them a chance to expand in hot days or in hot weather, or to avoid buckling or bending or expanding in hot days or in hot weather, as you said. Okay? So today we will study that thermometer contains a liquid which is called mercury. الترمومتر فيه سائل جواه اسمه mercury. What happened to mercury by heat or by hot weather or by high temperature? I think mercury will what?
Will
Will
rise.
expand,
Or
will rise,
expand.
yeah, will rise. What happened to mercury with cooling? It will contract.
Contract.
So I have here a thermometer like this, okay? Inside the thermometer,
Is it a real one?
yeah,
Not a
I
toy
have three thermometers.
thermometer?
Not, but this is not used for patient.
Yeah.
This is for liquids.
Liquids,
Okay?
yeah.
We will study them in details now.
Yeah.
ان شاء الله بالتفصيل هنعرف كل واحد بالتفصيل. Okay? So inside ناخد ده عشان مضايقك قوي ده.
No, it's fine. I like it.
Okay.
No problem.
This is the thermometer, we know.
Yeah.
We use the thermometer in our daily life, in hostels, in clinics, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay? So in this thermometer, there is a liquid which is called mercury. في mercury جوه هنا. Okay? Inside this part. What happened to mercury by heating? I think it will, as you said.
Yeah.
Rise.
Rise.
Yeah, and will expand.
Expand.
What happened to mercury with cooling?
It will contract.
So we can say that the main idea of making thermometer is that liquids expand by heating and contract by cooling. Liquids expand by heating and contract by cooling. Okay? Again, ده موضوع مهم جدا او نقطة مهمة جدا درسناها النهارده. ايه اللي حصل للliquids by heating expand؟ ايه اللي حصل by cooling contract؟ So when I put this thermometer inside my mouth, okay, if I have a fever, an influenza, and so on, any higher temperature, the temperature will appear on this
fever.
scale.
Fever is strong. Temperature, right?
Strong temperature, very strong temperature. Okay, so we can summarize all what we said in that liquids such as mercury expand by heating and contract by cooling. Liquids expand by heating and contract by cooling. Okay.
So we can conclude that there are different types of thermometers,
yeah,
right?
We have different types, but only in primary 6 this year we have two types only, which are medical thermometer or clinical thermometer, medical الترمومتر الطبي, and Celsius thermometer الترمومتر المئوي, the long one. This is the Celsius thermometer. Okay, we will study them in details now. Okay, so we have two types of thermometer this year, like medical thermometer and Celsius thermometer. Okay, we have two types of thermometer such
medical
as
and Celsius.
medical and Celsius thermometer. medical thermometer أو الترمومتر الطبي, Celsius thermometer أو الترمومتر المئوي. وهنعرف بعد شوية سميناه ليه Celsius. Okay,
I can say.
you can say. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
The one who invented it.
The scientist, yeah, the scientist
Right.
who invented this thermometer is called Celsius. Okay, the one who invented both of them, اللي اخترع الاثنين اسمه Celsius, or Andres Celsius عالم great scientist in physics or in thermophysics الفيزياء الحرارية اسمه أندريس سيليزيوس هو اللي اخترع الترمومترين دول. اوكي عشان كده هنكرمه ونسمي احد الترمومترات باسمه هو شخصيا. اوكي
we can call it junior Celsius and senior Celsius.
junior and senior الصغير والثالث كبير يعني. اوكي على اعتبار ان هم اولاده يعني. اوكي so we have two types of thermometer this year which are medical thermometer or clinical medical او clinical بمعنى واحد او الترمومتر الطبي سيلسيوس الترمومتر المئوي. اوكي so this is an image a very important image. نشوف مع بعض صورة مهمة جدا للميديكال thermometer. اوكي نشوف مع بعض medical thermometer. As we can see medical thermometer contains at the bottom here mercury pulp. هنا في جزء كده يعني دارك شوية بنسميه mercury pulp أو مستودع الزئبق أو خزان الزئبق. and I have a capillary tube. this yellow tube الأنبوبة اللي جوه ديت هنسميها capillary tube. and from outside I have a very thick transparent glass tube. so the thermometer contains three main parts which are mercury pulp, capillary tube and very thick transparent glass tube. And as we can see, medical thermometer started from what, Mr. Yasser? From number 35
yeah.
to 42.
And
why?
You're going to ask me why. I know.
Yeah. Okay, you can ask. You can answer now.
Okay, I guess because our normal body temperature is 37.
37, yeah.
So maybe our temperature gets lower, right?
To 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it gets lower than 35, then this is a problem. It could lead to death.
No, 35 leads to this, not lower 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
35.
35.
35 means the blood clot, means the blood coagulation.
Yeah. So 35 is the minimum. Or not
36 is the minimum. 36 is the minimum temperature of the human body.
36 is the minimum. 35 means death. And also at the same time,
we can get
talk
higher
about higher temperature,
like 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 means death.
Means death as well.
Okay, as you said, Mr. Rieta, thank you for your great explanation.
Thank you. I remember it from last year.
Okay, Mr. Rieta said that our normal temperature is 37. Okay, so we can get lower. ممكن ننزل عنها شوية نبقى 36. And if it gets 35, it means death. معناها الوفاة، معناها الموت لا قدر الله. Because 35 means blood coagulation. معناها إن حصل تجلط في الدم. As we have studied in primary 5, زي ما درسنا في primary 5. Blood clot cause death. ممكن يسبب الوفاة. Or surely cause death. So 37 is the normal temperature, but it may be 38, 39, 40.
Clot here means the freezing of blood.
The solidification of blood. Solidification of the blood. تجلط الدم أو تصلب الدم.
Yeah.
Okay, and if it happen in all the body may die. Sure die. Okay, but it happened in one artery. يعني حصل تجلط في الدم في شريان واحد بس. The body can die because we can cover it, we can treat it. ممكن نعالجها. يعني نسمع كتير قوي عن حد جاله جلطة. جلطة ممكن تعالج لو في منطقة محدودة limited area. لكن in all the body like 35-degree temperature it causes this. Okay, so we must know that medical thermometer starts from what to what? Started from 35 Celsius to 42 Celsius. Again, medical thermometer starts from 35 Celsius to 42 Celsius. Why? Because the normal temperature is 37 and we need 2 degrees less than it and we need some degrees more than it like 42 that causes blood explosion or explosion in the arteries of the brain أو انفجار في شرايين المخ برضه هيسبب death أو هنقول عليه cause death. Okay, so this is the thermometer of patient, the thermometer المرضى, or thermometer of human bodies like us. Okay, I can use this thermometer to measure the temperature of the human being. So now,
do vets use the same thermometers? You know, vets, doctors who treat animals.
No, because the temperature of animal is not like the same at the people. It may be less or it may be more than. Like the camels, we will study camels in details next year in Prep 1. Camel temperature began from 31 to 45. Camel temperature began from 31 to 45 without being sick. يعني بدون ما يكون مريض. Camel temperature changes all the day long.
So vets use different
different thermometer, like because the temperature of the animals is not fixed, is not constant. Temperature of the human people or the people is fixed, constant, because it's constant temperature at 37. Because we call ourselves احنا بنسمي نفسنا hot-blooded animals. حيوان ذات دم الحار.
مش عارف الكلمة دي عليهم ولا لا او عارفينها ولا لا.
مش عليهم
اللي
طبعا.
هي veterinarians اللي هي الأطباء البيطريين يعني.
Okay, because so that we can call all people or all living organisms such as people hot blood animal. حيوان ذات ذو دم حار يعني حرارته ثابتة. But many animals are called cold-blooded animal. بنسميهم حيوان ذو دم بارد حرارته بتختلف أو بتطلع وتنزل without being sick بدون ما يكون مريض. Okay? So again, we have two types of thermometer. Medical thermometer, like our thermometer, we use it for ourselves, and it begins from 35 to 42 Celsius. Okay? So now, Mr. Yasser, I will ask you to give me a very important or a very small definition for medical thermometer.
Yeah. So, medical thermometer
is a thermometer
is a device.
Yeah, device.
We cannot
very
say
good.
that a thermometer is a thermometer. So say
Okay.
medical thermometer is a device that measures the temperature of human beings, and it starts from 35 and until 42.
And ends at 42. That's
Yeah.
a very great definition and very easy definition at the same time. So we can say that medical thermometer is the thermometer or the device, as you said, Mr. Yasser, that is used to measure temperature of the human being. That's all. And we can say that the medical thermometer starts from 35 Celsius to 42 Celsius. So let us see the definition of medical thermometer. Medical thermometer, as we know, or as we said, is the thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of the human being. Temperature, again, of the human being. Okay? Again, medical thermometer is the thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of the human being. Okay?
Even babies
have
the same
constant temperature 37.
37.
All people from the beginning of their life,
from the cradle
from the birth
to the grave
till this, their temperature is constant at 37.
Yeah.
People only, not animals. Okay, because animals' temperature, as we said, is not constant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you know some animals can adapt easily to some environments. And not other environments.
Yeah, like the camel, like the polar bear, and so many animals can be adapted to the environmental conditions or the environmental changes in temperature. But in living organisms such as people, we cannot adapt more easily like them.
Yeah. What about birds? Because we also hear of bird migration.
Yeah, birds also can adapt, but to a small extent. يعني بيتكيفوا لكن مش لدرجة كبيرة قوي يعني.
Okay. So they also have different temperature.
Different temperature. Okay. مستر ياسر بيقول إن هل الانيمالز بيحصل لها adaptation تكيف مع الحرارة؟ Yes, animal can be adapted to change in temperature because they can change temperature all the day without being sick. Opposite to that, the people احنا عكس كده خالص. We cannot be adapted to higher temperature or to lower temperature like this. Okay? So again, we have studied two types of thermometer up till now, which are medical thermometer and Celsius thermometer.
Or clinical.
Or clinical thermometer. Clinical هو medical, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I have a picture here for the medical thermometer, and we can see that it starts from 35 Celsius and 42 Celsius. Okay? The structure of medical thermometer. At first, or number one, transparent thick glass tube. Transparent thick glass tube. يعني أنبوبة زجاجية شفافة سميكة. Number two, capillary tube closed from one of its ends. Again, capillary tube أو أنبوبة شعرية. وكلمة مش غريبة علينا خدناها في primary 5. Capillary زي blood capillaries أو الشعيرات الدموية as we have studied in primary 5. Again, capillary tube closed from one of its ends. Number three, mercury pulp. Number three, mercury pulp. And number four, the most important characteristic in this thermometer أكتر حاجة تميز الترمومتر الطبي حاجة هنسميها constrictions. Okay, Mr. Yasser?
Yeah.
So we have four structures in the medical thermometer that are transparent thick glass tube, capillary tube, mercury pulp, constriction. Okay? So let me draw a sample drawing for the medical thermometer to know how we use it. Okay?
Yeah.
نرسم مع بعض medical thermometer like this. Okay? I have a thick glass tube. And also I have mercury pulp like this. Here I have the mercury pulp. هنا مستودع أو خزان الزئبق mercury pulp. Here the thick glass tube or glass tube. And from inside I have a very important part which is the capillary tube like this. Okay? But in capillary tube I have a very important characteristic like this. I have a constriction. What is this? Constriction. So here I have a capillary tube. Capillary tube أنبوبة شعرية. Here I have a constriction أو اختناق.
Isn't it like a dam?
Yeah, like dam, like jamming. هنا في حتة زحمة شوية. طب نشوف مع بعض كده في الميديكال
زي سد كده.
زي مش سد كامل يعني حتة فيها اختناق شوية. ليه بقى في constriction في الميديكال thermometer؟ طيب هتخيل ان هو ده الميديكال thermometer معايا. Okay, like this. I have here a constriction in this area. Why? Because if mercury expand, as we know, I want this mercury expand and don't contract till I want. يعني for example, I measure temperature of a patient. Okay? If I put it out from the mouth of the patient, mercury will contract.
Yeah.
Okay, يعني عندي مثلا for example دقيقتين على ما اشوف الترمومتر. الدكتور معاه تليفون مثلا او بيكتب روشتة او حاجة. اوكي؟ ممكن جدا الميركوري ينزل يحصل له كونتراكت. لا انا عايز الميركوري يطلع لكن ما ينزلش او ما يحصلوش كونتراكت الا بامري انا شخصيا او بامر الدكتور او الشخص اللي بيعمل ميجرمنت للتمبراتشر.
طيب I want to ask something here. I see doctors sometimes when using thermometers they shake it like this.
Okay.
Why is that?
They shake the thermometer like this before using the thermometer. Okay, before using, not after using. Why? To force mercury back. يعني هو قبل كده كان الميركوري اتفقنا انه طلع عند حراره معينه وما نزلش.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another question.
Another question.
Yeah. Why do doctors put the thermometer inside the mouth and not inside the nose, for example?
And inside the mouth to measure the temperature of the saliva. يعني حرارة الجسم أو حرارة الدم, the liquids of the body, like the saliva. But inside the nose, it may cause choking. May cause death to the patient.
No, one direction is okay.
Okay, okay. Again,
you know, you have two nostrils. You can put it inside one nostril.
Inside one nostril, but it will measure the temperature of the air, not the human body. يعني لو أنا حطيته زي ما أنت قلت كده, I know that you are joking. أنت بتهرج يا ياسر. Okay. No, and inside one
I'm
nostril.
just asking a simple question. You were never asked this question?
No.
Really?
Okay, I am asked a question like that. I put it inside the mouth. No, inside the mouth, under the tongue.
Under the tongue.
To give the temperature accurately.
So why not above it?
Above it, it will measure the temperature of the air inside the tongue.
Yeah.
عايز حرارة الجسم.
Not the saliva.
Yeah, حرارة السلايفا اللي عاد انه جزء من الجسم. Okay? يبقى I must put it inside or under the tongue, تحت اللسان.
But isn't it disgusting when doctors use the same thermometer to measure the temperature of different patients?
So it must be sterilized. لازم يطهر الأول يعني. Okay? After a while we will study in detail how to use the medical thermometer.
Okay.
But now let me explain why I have a constriction here. ليه هنا في اختناق? Why? In Arabic كده يعني in simple words to make the thermometer.
ده بالعربي؟
اوكي عشان تخلي الميركوري يطلع ما ينزلش تاني. اوكي خلي الميركوري يطلع ما ينزلش تاني الا بامري انا او بامر الدكتور او الشخص اللي هيعمل measure للتمبريتشر. اوكي so after I use the thermometer I know that the temperature of a patient, for example مثلا 39, I make what? I shake the thermometer like this.
Yeah.
Why?
How many times, or is it until you notice what?
Until I can see the mercury goes back.
Yeah.
So I must shake the thermometer.
Can you see the mercury now?
Yeah, I can see the mercury here. It's less than 35 with a small degree. You can see it.
Yeah.
I think it's very.
So it's not. It cannot measure the temperature of the studio.
It can measure if the temperature of the studio ranges from 35 to 42.
Yeah.
Imagine that the temperature of the studio today is 20 Celsius. Imagine, because we have a condition here. Okay? Yeah. It can't measure this temperature because it began from 35. Okay? So again, medical thermometer has a constriction. Give reason. سؤال مهم قوي. نكتب مع بعض السؤال ده انه very very important. Medical thermometer or give reason. انت عايز تجاوب يا ياسر. Okay? Okay. Okay. Give reason. Medical thermometer has a constriction. عشان يحرمك من الإجابة يا ياسر. اتفضل.
Yeah. To keep the temperature measured stable.
I have a very simple answer like this. more simpler, okay?
Okay, simpler. You have a simpler one.
Okay. To prevent mercury pack. Okay, I think it's more simpler. To prevent mercury from going back.
To keep it.
To keep mercury at its level. Okay.
As it is.
To keep or to prevent mercury from going back. يعني تخلي الميركوري ثابت في مكانه فاقدر اعرف الحراره accurately. Okay, so that's about medical thermometer that we use to measure temperature of patients, المرضى, or people or human people. We cannot use this thermometer to measure temperature of liquids, okay, or boiling water. يعني for example مثلا في احد الطلبه حكى لي حكايه ظريفه جدا، حب يستخدم الميديكال thermometer to measure temperature of hot tea. Hot tea. شاي سخن. What happened? The thermometer broke. اتكسر. Why? Because
it exploded.
Yeah, because the last temperature here is 42.
Yeah.
And we know that hot tea is surely is more than 42 because boiling water we use in hot tea is 100 Celsius.
And, is mercury dangerous?
Yeah, mercury is not dangerous at only. It's poisonous.
Poisonous.
Chem. Okay.
Yeah.
So we cannot use medical thermometer in measuring temperature of boiling water.
What about touching it or?
Touching is not harmful.
It's okay.
But swallowing is a catastrophe. Disaster, كارثة. It causes death. Surely it causes death. Okay. So again, medical thermometer is used only for measuring temperature of patient, human body, البني آدمين بس. Okay. Not animals.
Yeah.
Okay. Or not also liquids, not also the weather. Okay. So again, medical thermometer has a constriction. Why or give reason? That's a very important give reason question. سؤال مهم جدا في give reason. Why? To prevent mercury pack quickly. To prevent mercury pack quickly. To read the measurement easily. Or as you said, Mr. Yasser, as you said another answer. Can you remind me with this answer? Medical thermometer has a constriction.
Yeah,
Why?
it has a constriction to keep mercury as it is.
Without mercury as it is.
But I want to say something. I want to ask something. It doesn't move at all. It doesn't go back at all.
Yeah, because mercury
because of this constriction.
Yeah, because mercury is a thick liquid. Mercury ده سائل لازق شوية، سميك شوية.
Yeah.
Okay. The constriction.
What do you do to? You need to shake it.
I must shake it with very strong force like that.
But what if you keep it for a long time without shaking?
Yeah. Without shaking it will still stable.
Yeah.
يعني لو سبت الثرمومتر for example 2 years with this temperature it will stay as this because there is a constriction in the medical thermometer. عشان في اختناق في الترمومتر الطبي تفضل الحرارة زي ما هي without change forever يعني. Okay, but I must shake it. Okay, so again another give reason you said Mr. Yasser. Give reason doctors shake the thermometer before use. Why? To force mercury back. To push mercury back.
Yeah.
Okay, to push mercury back. من أفضل الإجابات اللي سمعتها للquestion دوت. Give reason we must check the thermometer before use. سمعت إجابة من أحد الطلبة قال لي to get rid of microbes like this. No, it's not correct. To get rid of microbe we must sterilize thermometer. لازم أطهره by sterilizing substance such as Dettol, such as ethyl alcohol, such as perfume. يعني surely عندنا كلنا perfume في البيت. Okay. طب هطهر الثرمومتر ازاي؟ بالكحول. طب ما عنديش كحول هو اوريدي موجود في البرفيوم. وغالبا ارخص انواع البرفيوم هي افضل انواع في التطهير because it contains more percentage of alcohol. يبقى لو البرفيوم ده غالي شويه ما استخدموش في التطهير.
And then you dry it, right?
Yeah, I dry it with tissue paper. After a while we will study how to use the medical thermometer in details. I have 7 steps to use the medical thermometer.
Yeah.
Okay? So now let's start the scale of medical thermometer. As we know, start from what? 35 to 42 Celsius. As we know, the scale or the range of the medical thermometer starts from 35 to 42 Celsius. Okay? Okay, so again the scale of the medical thermometer starts from 35 Celsius to 42 Celsius. Okay?
Yeah.
So now each degree in the medical thermometer is divided into 10 parts and each part equal 1/10 degree.
Right, like a ruler.
Yeah, like a
ruler, right?
Yeah, sure, like a ruler. Why? Why the degree is divided into 10 parts? To make accurate temperature.
Yeah.
Because I can measure your temperature now, for example, it will be 37 and 2 dashes. نسمع كده كتير نقول 37 وشرطتين. ايه شرطتين ديت؟ يعني كأنها كده 2 يعني أو 2/10 of the degree يعني 2 من 10 من الدرجة to give very accurate temperature to give very accurate temperature. So again each temperature here or each degree is divided into 10 parts to give accurate temperature and as we know each degree is divided into 1/10 degree or 10 degree and each one of them equal 1/10 degree. Okay, so how can we use the medical thermometer? After sterilizing it we must dry it by tissue paper. لازم ننشفه كويس قوي بمنديل او ورق مناديل يعني by tissue paper. Why? To get rid of alcohol. Okay, so now how to use medical thermometer? That's your rule, Mr. Yasser. That's your tip.
Yeah.
Okay, how to use medical thermometer? You can read the steps. We have steps to use this medical thermometer. Number 1, sterilize.
To sterilize
by ethyl alcohol.
alcohol.
لازم اطهره بكحول ايثيلي. وقلنا ما عندناش كحول في البيت، لا شور عندنا. هو موجود فين؟ اوريدي موجود في البرفيوم. يبقى ما حدش ليه حاجه بقى ان هو ما يطهرش الترمومتر يعني.
Unless
you said
they don't use perfume.
You said that it's disgusting to use.
It's disgusting, sure.
Disgusting, sorry. To use the same thermometer in more than one patient. So we can or we must sterilize. لازم اطهره by ethyl alcohol. Okay. Number 2.
So it's not just disgusting; it's also unhealthy.
Yeah, unhealthy. It can cause disease. It may be infectious disease. Okay. ممكن يكون فيه أمراض معدية.
Contagious. معدي.
Yeah, بالظبط كده. Okay. The second step, as we said, dry it by tissue paper and نشفه بورق مناديل. And also we must shake the thermometer. Why, Mr. Yasser? Until mercury.
To force mercury back.
Mercury goes back to the pulp. Okay. Shake the thermometer until mercury goes back to the pulp. لازم اهز الثرمومتر لغايه ما اتاكد ان الميركوري رجع. For example مثلا لو doctor has the thermometer like this, okay, and he didn't see the thermometer, the mercury may be not back. لازم اتاكد كويس قوي ان الميركوري goes back to the normal temperature. It must be less than 35.
Are all thermometers the same size?
Yeah, the same size in range from 35 to 42.
Yeah,
but
not in shape.
Not in shape, yeah. This thermometer is more larger in shape, in width,
larger,
not height, not length. Sorry, is more larger in width to give a clear vision. عشان يديني رؤية واضحة شوية. في بعض الثرمومتر بتبقى مش واضحة شوية.
So it's wider.
Yeah, it's wider. It has more width. Okay. Yeah. So again, we must shake the thermometer. Why or give reason? To force mercury back عشان ارجع الميركوري تاني للمستودع بتاعه and measure temperature again for a new patient. Okay.
What about I don't know, you know, can a thermometer be used for a long time?
Yeah, I can use it for a long time, but
so it has no expiry date?
No. It may break because it's glass.
Yeah,
okay?
But if it's sound, if it's okay, fine.
I can use it for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so mercury, there is nothing.
No. There is no expiry date for this device. Okay. يعني مفيش تاريخ صلاحية ليه بستخدمه أكتر من مرة بس بحافظ عليه بقدر الإمكان. So I must keep it. I must put it in its box. Why? Because it's glass. It may be break easily. Okay. يبقى لازم أحطه كويس أوي في plastic box or wooden box like this to keep it from.
When it is at rest, does it get affected by the temperature
of the weather,
of the environment? Yeah.
Okay, it can be affected only if it's in the range of this thermometer, in its range from 35 to 42. Imagine that the temperature today is I think 31. Okay, I saw it in the television yesterday. The temperature today is 31, so it can't be affected by this. هو مش هيقيسها خالص. هي مش داخله من
So when you use it for the first time ever, you need to shake it as well.
Yeah. Anytime I use the thermometer, I must shake it. Why I must shake it? To make sure, to ensure that the mercury goes to its real or its normal scale. Okay? That must be less than 35. لازم كويس قوي اعمل shaking للثرمومتر مش عشان اطهره من الجراثيم، لا طبعا بطهره بالكحول الايثايل او ايثايل الكحول، لكن بعمل شيكينج عشان اتاكد كويس قوي ان الميركوري رجع تاني لمستواه الطبيعي.
And I guess everybody at home should have A thermometer.
Yeah, sure. And
it's one of the first aid kit devices.
Yeah,
right?
and I think it's not so much. It's not expensive.
It's not expensive.
No.
How much is it?
I think £5, £7,
£5?
like
Yeah,
this.
that's
yeah,
okay.
£7.
The Chinese one or the
Not the original one. Not more than 10. I think it will be not more than £10. Yeah.
Yeah.
£5, £7, £6, like this. Yeah. And it will be available in all pharmacies.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very important in measuring temperature of babies and child. Okay, or children. I think all homes at all the world must have one of this thermometer.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second step, we must check the thermometer like this. Why? To force mercury back. Okay, the third step, you can read Mr. Yasser. Third step, put it under.
Yeah, put it under the tongue. Yeah, for a minute.
Or for a minute or two. Okay,
yeah.
We must put it under the tongue. We cannot put it in the mouth or over the tongue. Why? To measure the temperature accurately, or to measure the temperature of saliva. عايز اقيس حرارة جسم الإنسان يبقى بحطها تحت اللسان. ليه؟
How does it taste like? Is it bitter? I guess I remember
no.
it has some taste.
Yeah, I think its taste is not good يعني.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gives a bitter taste maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So especially in little children, we mustn't put it in the mouth, but we can put it under the arm.
Under the
Why?
arm. Yeah.
Why? Because it may break. يبقى في بعض الأحيان لما يكون في أطفال صغيرين مش هستخدم خالص thermometer inside the mouth.
But is it more accurate?
No, we must increase one temperature under the arm. يعني for example لو هي تحت الأرم 38 يبقى هقول 39.
The armpit here.
Yeah, the armpit here. Yeah, inside the armpit داخل أو تحت الإبط يعني داخل منطقة الإبط. Okay.
I want to ask a question here. What if somebody uses a thermometer and puts it under the tongue or in a child's mouth?
Okay.
And the child, you know, like
sees the thermometer.
Yeah. What if it gets broken inside the mouth?
We have two problems now. If the thermometer gets broken inside the mouth of a child, we have two problems. Number one, the thermometer, as you know, is made of glass. And the glass can hurt the child.
It can hurt.
And it can cause wounds. Okay, ممكن يجرح الطفل ده. And also, mercury inside the thermometer is poisonous matter. Poisonous matter, if it is swallowed by the child, it will cause death.
So what if a child swallows this, you know, mercury?
The swallow mercury, it will cause death. So you must take the child.
You cannot just, you know, like let them drink anything to prevent poisoning.
No, we cannot do that. But we can take the child immediately to the nearest hospital. We can
what
treat
are
this.
they going to do, you know, there? You're not so sure.
No, I think
but there must be something.
Must be treated in hospital
immediately.
It must be treated in hospital immediately. It can be treated inside home. لو فرض ان في طفل فعلا بلع الميركوري لازم يعالج في المستشفى فورا بدون تأخر يعني. Okay, so we must put this thermometer under the armpit or inside the armpit in little children. Okay? Okay.
The right or the left one?
The same, they are the same.
Okay.
Okay, so again, the third step, الخطوة الثالثة في thermometer, we put it under the tongue for a minute or for 2 minutes. And the fourth step says that, get it out and read it. هخرجه وأقراه. Get it out and read it. The fifth step, الخطوة الخامسة, sterilize it again. لازم أطهره فورا. Why? To get rid of any microbes. Sterilize it again in ethyl alcohol. And we said that we have ethyl alcohol inside our home or at our home. Why? Because alcohol is present in perfume. الكحول موجود already في أي perfume بستخدمه أو أي برفان بستخدمه في البيت. Okay? The sixth step الخطوة السادسة, put it in its box. أحطه في صندوقه الخاص بيه أو العلبة الخاصة بيه. Why? To keep it or to give it for longer time. عشان أحافظ عليه لوقت أطول. Okay, so now let's have a note بينا. ملاحظة مهمة جدا. Don't seize the thermometer. بنقول لكل الأطفال بالذات كمان اللي بيستخدموا الثرمومتر أو بابا بيستخدم لهم أو for example doctors يعني ما يدوسش قوي على الثرمومتر with your teeth. ليه؟ in order not to prick عشان ما اكسروش وزي ما اتفقنا من شويه.
Don't bite it.
Don't bite it بالظبط ما يقعدوش. عشان كده لو الطفل ده اوريدي مش مسؤول عن حركاته او عن افعاله مع الثرمومتر مش هستخدم الميديكال ثرمومتر ده بالطريقه دي او هستخدم ديجيتال ثرمومتر الثرمومتر الرقمي او حاجه ثانيه خالص انواع ثانيه من الثرمومتر. Why? Because as we said, because mercury is poisonous or toxic matter. And mercury مادة سامة. Mercury again is poisonous matter or toxic matter. And also I have a very great information, معلومة مهمة جدا. Mercury reacts with gold. mercury بيتفاعل مع الجولد. If the thermometer break أو اتكسر، لو الترمومتر اتكسر, we must take care. We must get rid of the mercury from the gold. يعني لازم ننبه بعض السيدات اللي بيستخدموا الترمومتر لو اتكسر، يعني نحاول واحنا بنجمعه من على الارض او حاجه زي كده ما يقربش منه اي حاجه فيها جولد. يعني لو هي لابسه فور اكزامبل جولدن رينج، خاتم ذهب او حاجه زي كده، ممكن جدا الميركوري يتفاعل معاه. اوكي، وبيضيع شكل الذهب وبيعمل رياكشن معاه وبيخلي الماس اوف ذا جولد، كتله الذهب، تقل شويه. اوكي، دي معلومه بره الدرس بس مهم حبيت اقولها يعني نستفيد بيها.
Very good information.
So okay. So again, don't seize the thermometer. Don't seize ما ينفعش اضغط، او don't bite ما ينفعش اعض الثرمومتر.
يعني at worst don't swallow it.
At
you
worst
may just gurgle. but not swallow.
اوكي، يعني لو فرض انه اتكسر فعلا don't swallow، ما بلعوش، just gurgle، يعني بالظبط هعمل غرغره ويعني اطرده بره الفم مباشره يعني. اوكي. So thermometer firmly with your teeth in order not to break it. Why? Because mercury is poisonous or toxic matter. Okay, this is the image of a broken thermometer, and as you know, or as you see, Mr. Yasser, looks cute. Mercury is thick liquid, سائل سميك جدا, so it can goes up and goes down with all mass, بيطلع كده كله ككتلة واحدة. Okay, so the thermometer must be vertical and the direction of the sight must be horizontal during reading the temperature. This is a very important information. الترمومتر لازم يكون رأسي، ولازم يكون القراية بتاعتي أنا عمودية عليه، أو القراية بتاعتي أنا هتكون horizontal، يعني برضو معناها متعامدة عليه. Okay? So again, we have digital thermometer that displays the thermometer digitally. في نوع تاني خالص من الثرمومتر اسمه digital أو الرقمي، وده بيعرض الحرارة بالأرقام، زي بالظبط كده الديجيتال واتش، الساعة الرقمية. اوكي، لكن ده اوريدي مش عندنا تركيبه في المنهج بتاعنا.
Maybe we also need like online thermometers.
Yeah, online thermometer, net thermometer.
To keep up with the current advancement of technology.
Okay, so the second type of thermometer we will study this year is the Celsius thermometer. Can you remind me, Mr. Yasser, how many types we have?
The Celsius, no, we have
the medical
and the Celsius.
Okay, and also you said at the first of this episode we have
Mr. Celsius.
Mr. Celsius, or the great scientist, great scientist. It's not Mr. هو أكبر من Mr. بكتير قوي. He is a great scientist, Celsius,
Professor Celsius.
Professor Celsius, or Andrew Celsius, that invented the two types of thermometer, or invented the main idea of making thermometer. Main idea that we have explained at first is that liquids expand by heat and contract by cooling. Liquid inside the thermometer, such as mercury, can expand by heat and contract by cooling. So we have a definition for Celsius thermometer. Can you give it to me, Mr. Yasser? I think it's
Celsius thermometer.
Yeah, it's a very easy definition.
It's a medical device.
No, it's a device, not medical. But هو مش طبي. لا هو مش طبي لأنه.
You're talking about the Celsius.
Celsius,
one. Yeah. Okay, the Celsius one is different. Yeah, it's a device.
The Celsius one.
A device
that is used
to
measure the temperature
of liquids.
Of liquids, of atmosphere, anything else.
Yeah,
okay?
anything else.
Except temperature of the
atmosphere as well.
Yeah,
so,
atmosphere.
Can you give us the temperature of the studio right now?
Yeah, this thermometer gives us the studio right now 23.
23.
Yeah, temperature inside the studio now, because we have air condition. But I think the temperature outside the studio is more higher.
Yeah, perhaps 35 or something.
We'll have perhaps 30, 31 like this. Yeah. Okay. So this thermometer can give us the temperature of the atmosphere.
So that means that there is a thermometer in your car, for example. Is it a thermometer?
I have a thermometer.
Is it called a thermometer in your car?
Yeah.
You know,
I have a thermometer.
Yeah, because we can know the temperature of the outside environment.
Yeah. I have a thermometer inside my old car. I had a thermometer.
Is it like this one?
No. It's more shorter.
Smaller one.
It's more shorter. Yeah. This thermometer can give me the temperature of the inside the car digitally. Okay,
Yeah.
it was hanging beside the mirror. كان في
Are
thermometer متعلق.
there any home thermometers like these?
Now, this thermometer is used only for measure temperature of liquids, such
Yeah.
as milk, such as boiling water, and those that.
But I guess unlike the medical thermometer, the Celsius thermometer is not necessary to be kept at home.
To be kept, yeah. This thermometer is not necessary. بالظبط هو مش ضروري جدا يكون عندي في البيت because I can't use it for measuring temperature of the human being. Why? Because it starts from 0 Celsius to 100 Celsius. يعني هو المدى بتاعه كبير جدا. طبعا ده مش مدى حرارة إنسان أبدا. Okay? But the scale of the medical thermometer is from 35, as you know, till 42.
Okay, you say it's not used to measure the temperature of human beings.
Yeah.
But it ranges from 0 to 100. So
Yeah.
can we also use it to measure the temperature of
the
human beings?
But in this Celsius thermometer we have no constriction. مفيش اختناق.
But you can get an accurate
No,
measurement.
not accurate. Why? Because in this thermometer في السيلسيوس هنا ما عنديش degrees to 10 degrees. يعني 35 36. لكن في الميديكال كان عندي 35 بعد كده 10 parts زي ما انت قلت كده ruler بعد كده 30 36 and so on. So which one will be accurate? Will be more accurate? Of course the medical thermometer for patient. Yeah. But this Celsius one is used for measuring the liquids temperature like milk, like jam, like juice. Okay, you know that in factories of making juices, the juice must be boiled to 1000 Celsius to kill any microbe. So we use the Celsius one or Celsius thermometer to kill microbes or to measure the temperature of killing microbe, which is 100 Celsius. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we have a definition for Celsius Celsius thermometer. So we can say that is a thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of liquids and atmosphere. Okay, again, نشوف مع بعض definition. Celsius thermometer is the thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of liquids and atmosphere. Liquids and atmosphere. Okay, and I have an image here. نشوف مع بعض صورة لل Celsius thermometer. You know that, Mr. Yasser, it starts from 0 Celsius to until 100 Celsius. 100 here, but it's inverted. يعني 100 هنا مقلوب شوية، رقم مقلوب، لكن هو 100 Celsius. Okay. Okay, another.
You can use it also in your class to give students degrees in your exams. You can put it on the exam and you can get it.
Yeah. Okay, I used it in my class or my lab like that. I gave my students some groups of hot water with different degrees. And I asked them.
تحسب درجة الامتحان تبقى أسهل في التصحيح.
No. The Celsius degree or the temperature degree, not the degree of the pupils, not the educational degree. Okay.
Try it. Maybe it will work.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Yas. You always joking. Okay. So the Celsius thermometer starts from, as we know, 0 Celsius till 100 Celsius. It starts from what? From 0 to 100. Why those degrees specially? ليه درجتين دول بالذات يعني؟ Because Celsius, the great scientist, took the temperature of the melting ice. ايه هي درجة حرارة انصهار الثلج؟ أو الثلج لما يبدأ يحصل له melting أو ينصهر.
100.
0 لا no 0 Celsius. Melting ice.
Melting.
100 boiling water. يعني هي تحولات
المادة. لا هو دلوقتي أنت عندك الجليد. عشان
الجليد ماينس. اوكي.
عشان تخليه ينصهر.
اوكي. عشان ينصهر ويتحول.
تخلي كام درجة عشان تحوله لدرجة.
اوكي. احنا درسنا في primary 4 حاجة اسمها changes of matter، تحولات المادة. اوكي. Water can be evaporated. And water can be iced. اوكي. If water is iced لو المية تلجت أو اتجمدت أو العكس الثلج حصل له melting, this temperature is called 0 Celsius.
Okay, but in order to melt it, you need a high temperature.
High temperature, but the temperature of the ice at this degree will be 0 Celsius. Okay? يعني اوكي انا هديله high او هديله heat energy طاقة حرارية.
Yeah, that's
but
what I meant.
The temperature, sure, I know that. But the temperature will be what on the thermometer will be 0 Celsius. So we must know that the temperature of 0 Celsius is the temperature of melting ice انصهار الثلج. But temperature of 100 Celsius, 100, the last degree of the Celsius thermometer, is the temperature of the boiling water. درجة حرارة المية اللي بتغلي أو الماء المغلي. Okay? So again, we must know that the Celsius thermometer starts from 0 Celsius until 100 Celsius. Okay?
Yeah.
So The structure of the Celsius thermometer, I think, is the same structure of the medical, but there is something absent here. في شيء بس هو اللي غايب عنه. Transparent thick glass tube, capillary tube, closed from one of its ends, and mercury bulb. So, إيه هو الشيء الغايب بقى مستر ياسر بين ال two thermometer? I think
the constriction.
The constriction.
Yeah.
So the constriction is the thing that is absent here in the Celsius thermometer. يبقى في شيء مش موجود في Celsius thermometer هو ال constriction. طب ليه؟ already أنا مش محتاج له.
أنا
هقيس
you don't need it.
هقيس حرارة for example milk مثلا already I can see it directly. Okay? I don't need it or I don't need constriction in the Celsius thermometer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So
I guess that's all the time.
All the time? We have no more time?
Yeah.
I have
for this episode. Do you want to say something very quickly?
I want 1 minute only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the scale of the Celsius thermometer, as we know, starts from 0 Celsius to 100 Celsius. The scale from 0 to 100. Celsius thermometer has no constriction. مفيش أي اختناق فيه because we don't need it. إحنا مش محتاجين له. Okay. The Swedish scientists Andreas Celsius or professors Andreas Celsius created Celsius scale. هو اللي اخترع أو هو اللي خلق المجال دوت أو الفكرة ديت in 1747. 1747.
The 18th
okay?
century.
Yeah. He considered that the 0 Celsius is the melting point of ice. 0 Celsius is the melting point of ice. Okay? And he considered also 100 Celsius is the boiling point of water. Boiling point of water. So you must differentiate between them. 0 Celsius and 100 Celsius.
All right. I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Neder Nassim, for this beautiful explanation of the lesson. Thank you, Mr. Neder. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Dear students of the 6th elementary grade, I guess it's been a very interesting lesson that we've had today. We've talked about measuring temperature and how to measure temperatures. We talked about the different kinds of thermometers used to measure temperature. I hope it's been a useful episode, and until we meet you again next Thursday, inshallah, same time, we wish you all the best. Goodbye.